everyone, it's Elizabeth from elpisastrology at elpisastrology.com. Thanks for joining me today. So this is my take on the July 2023 astrology. As per usual, you can listen to my take, but of course it's up to you how you interpret these energies for your life. So we have a full moon in Capricorn, a new moon in Cancer, we have a Venus retrograde starting in Leo, and we have the Sun ingressing into Leo as well this month. All right, so we start off the month with a full moon in Capricorn on the 3rd of July. It's at 11 Capricorn, 18 minutes at 4:49 a.m. Pacific Daylight Time. I really liked this, even though it's a full moon, and classically in astrology we say this is a wrapping up, it's a culmination, and it's an ending. We've got a big involvement of Jupiter here at this time. We have the moon that's trining Jupiter. We have the sun that's sextiling Jupiter. So these are just bringing in some positive energies for what? Expansion, generally speaking. It's also, our future is very much viewed by Jupiter. Jupiter can also represent things like foreign places, foreign things. So some of us may be planning travel or maybe coming to the end of travel. We have the sun, which is in Cancer, of course, because it's the opposite sign to the full moon in Capricorn, will conjunct Mercury. And so this just brings in some communications that might be very nurturing and compassionate for us. Mars will conjunct Venus. And although Mars and Venus in Leo will be in Leo together, they never actually conjunct. So I really saw this for July and August, this sort of dance of lovers, right? Because both Mars and Venus are viewed as the celestial lovers, emphasizing the whole love part of the Venus retrograde, which I'll talk about in a minute. We also have two retrograde planets, Neptune and Pluto, that will be forming a sextile. And this really speaks to us having an opportunity to see the truth of maybe some of our philosophies or beliefs that may not resonate with us as much. Now, this will continue on through some of the month as well, this particular aspect. So we can look at the whole month of July, not just the full moon and new moon with this influence, but certainly it will be adding that element to both moons. We have a wide sextile between Jupiter and Saturn. And so this also brings in this element of planning, planning for the future. Jupiter is all about looking at the future. Saturn says, let's plan. Saturn says, let's be real. Saturn also says it's time. So although you may be wrapping up some things here, you may also be making a decision to start some kind of planning process where you look at, where do I want to go in the future here? And where you want to go in the future may apply to that Venus retrograde that I'll talk about in a minute. Who do I want to love? So on the 12th and 13th of July, we have now Mercury joining both Mars and Venus in Leo. And so this just brings in potentially messages for love, maybe messages about money, maybe messages about the value of ourselves. Others may be having some thoughts about, am I really valuing myself in this relationship? Or am I really being valued in the way I make my money? So those sorts of things could be going on as well. But you may just get a direct message from, say, somebody that loves you. Or you, in turn, may tell someone that you love them. We have the new moon in Cancer coming up on the 17th of July at 24 Cancer, 56 minutes. So that's almost 25 Cancer at 11:32 a.m. Pacific Daylight Time. So happy new year to all my Cancer viewers and clients. I wish you all the best. This is your official new start to the year. Now, we have the sun and the moon that will be sextiling Uranus. And so this brings this element of excitement and surprises in a very positive way. So there may be opportunities at this new moon, especially if you've got, say, something around the 24, 25 degree mark of Cancer, that will really excite you emotionally. We do have a wide opposition with the Sun and Moon at almost 25 Cancer, with Pluto retrograde in Capricorn. And although it's off a few degrees, because Pluto is such a powerful planet, I really wanted to say that I think this influence is there by opposition. So this can just basically bring in some very powerful emotions bubbling up to the surface, right? And this can be positive or negative, depending, where we're at, I guess. In particular, are we feeling nurtured? Are we feeling that we're nurturing too many people and we're not getting nurturing ourselves? I would say at this new moon, this is asking us to take new steps with regards to nurturing ourselves first and being compassionate with ourselves first before we try to do the same for others. And again, we've got this whole Neptune and Pluto sextile, reviewing maybe some of these practices that we've been doing, some of the philosophies that we've had. Maybe some of our dreams may come into the picture here. I really felt this strongly during both moons for sure, that it may be a time where our dreams actually give us some truths in our lives as well. So the next thing that we have happening here, on the 23rd of July at 10 a.m. Pacific Daylight Time, we have Venus going retrograde in Leo at 28 degrees of Leo. So I did do a video, an extensive video on this, and I included all the ascendants and sun signs. I put the link below here in the text box, so please feel free to watch it if you would like. I do go into a lot of detail. It was 8 years ago when we had a Venus retrograde happen in Leo last time. So you might want to reflect back to remember maybe what was going on, because some of us will literally have a past love come back into our life that was significant at this time. Now, it can also mean, especially with Leo, past significant friendships in our early days. That sort of thing can come back for you too. So what we have happening here is we have Mercury is widely conjuncting the Venus at this time. And Venus will continue to conjunct this because, of course, it's going to be going backwards from 28 degrees on the 10th of August and the 29th and 30th of September 2023. So note those dates, because those are the dates when more than likely you will reach out to somebody or someone will reach out to you in terms of communications of some sort, or at the very least, thoughts of love. At this Venus retrograde, we have nicely the moon at 5 degrees of Libra. And recall that Venus in the natural zodiac rules Libra as well as Taurus. But in this case, it provides this other lovely aspect with regards to the sign that the moon is in. And I think it just lends a very nice supporting energy, as well as an attracting energy. Don't forget that Venus at its core really likes to attract. Now, it attracts through what? By being beautiful, by being nice, by being sweet, by socializing, by having nice manners. So it all kind of blends in very nicely here at this time, even though we've got Venus going retrograde. And so there's a wide sextile with that moon, with the sun in Leo. Because, of course, we have Leo, or it's the sun rather, ruling Leo, enters Leo at the same day as this Venus retrograde. So even though it's a retrograde, I really saw that this was so positive at this time. It just was a beautiful setup of energy, essentially. Anyway, I thought it was a nice start to the Venus retrograde, I guess is what I'm really saying. Again, take a look at my video that I did on this Venus retrograde, link below. Now, when we look at the Sabian symbol so we always round up when we look at what degree should we read for in the Sabian symbol book. And it is 29 degrees of Leo. And we know that that 29 degrees in any sign is kind of a culminating energy and a critical degree. And so this is also adding a big importance with regards to what? Well, it adds an importance to what do we want to love and what do we want to love us. So I guess be careful what you ask for, because this is a powerful energy at this 29 degrees of Leo. It could bring in what you want. So the image is a mermaid emerges from the sea or the waters to be reborn as a human. So if we remember some of our classic art, it depicts Venus exactly in this way, right? I thought that was very interesting how this lined up with that energy of the Venus retrograde. And so this is essentially saying, as this Venus retrograde begins, feelings become conscious form. So take care of what you wish for, especially when it relates to love. Now, I'm making this video fairly early in June. And if you're listening to it then, I would suggest that, you do some review of what do you want in love? What means something to you with regards to your love life and the person that's in it for you? And more and just as importantly, what do you feel you're going to give out? Instead of just all this big receiving thing, ask yourself what you would give out to show your love to somebody. And if you're really puzzled and you're not sure what to do with regards to this, and you don't want to get things wrong, and you might have a bit of anxiety, don't go there. I would say the easiest way is to put a vision board together. And I mean, this is something that my clients, almost all my clients, I tell them to do because it works. Put a vision board together that really says what you really value, what you really want to attract with regards to love. And put something together that displays or reinforces those feelings more than anything else. And make sure you look at that every day to remind yourself what it is, how you want to feel when you fall in love. And then you're sending that out to the universe to tell the universe how you want to feel. So that's a really good constructive way to use this Venus retrograde start and the whole Venus retrograde period itself, right? Now, the Venus retrograde officially stops the first week of September 2023, but Venus will stay in Leo as it goes direct right the way through the first week of October 2023. So this is a long period of time that we have Venus in Leo. And certainly there's other things that can be brought up, anything to do with beauty. Clothes are also put into this, clothes and fashion as well. Could have some interesting turnarounds. Again, I've got all that in my video itself. On the 26th of August, we have the Sun, which is the ruler of Leo, now conjunct that degree point, 28 degrees of Leo, that Venus went retrograde. So this is another date that may be of seminal importance for you with regards to something happening in your love life, values, value of self, but it can also have something to do with money and, of course, past significant friendships for you. So on and around this time, of course, we have the north nodes will be changing sign. The transiting north nodes will be changing sign, and they start at the end of a sign. Remember, there's 30 degrees in every sign. And so we have the transiting north nodes now going into 29 degrees of Aries. And so this is a pretty important time period where, we've got Aries in particular highlighted. If you've got your north nodes in Aries, this is a whole cycle of about 18 months where you will have eclipses happening in Aries. as well as in the opposite sign of Libra. All right, well, we have a little August peek for you. We have 2 full moons in August. One is in Aquarius, one is in Pisces. We have a new moon in Leo. And so that new moon in Leo in August at 23 degrees of Leo will also be important for some folks as well, because it'll usher in some newness, even though we still have the Venus retrograde going on throughout August. But we will have a Mercury retrograde start at this time in Virgo, and Uranus will go retrograde in August. All right, next I'm going to be covering each of your sun signs and or your ascendants. I say if it resonates with you, read your sun sign, listen to your sun sign. My preference is for you to read for your rising or ascendant sign, because that will give you the house, and the house gives you the area of your life using whole sign houses. And then listen to your sun sign, because the sun is the most important luminary in your chart, right? This full moon in Capricorn is in your 12th house. And you've got the new moon in Cancer in opposite house, the 6th house. So this says to me that there's going to be some light shone on 12th house matters. And the 12th house deals with many things. It's sometimes the things that we're hiding underneath the carpet that we refuse to look at. It's to do with hidden places like hospitals, ashrams, government offices. It can also be the house of rest. And it can also be the house of secrets and the metaphysical world. So any or all of these areas could be affected by some kind of culmination of some sort. Some kind of ending, some sort of big spotlight shone on things. Now, for some, it could be that for some Aquarians, just say you were in the hospital for some reason. And this is your full moon that says, bye-bye, I'm going home. And Capricorn rules things like, bones and teeth, even skin, anything, cartilage, that type of thing, anything where there's a structure involved, right? So there might have been some Aquarius that they say, oh my gosh, finally I'm getting out of the hospital now, and my bones have healed, or whatever you've had happen. Or maybe you've had to have some kind of process put in with regards to your teeth, and you finally see the end of it. Your braces come off. Believe me, I've been in that situation when that feels so good after years of having braces on. It could also be a time when a secret comes out, right? That is important for you to know, that it involves some kind of secret that might have been, kept under the carpet that comes out. Now, this could be a secret that you've had, or a secret that someone else has that affects you at this time. Now, the new moon in Cancer is in your 6th house. So for those that had to be in the hospital for some reason, or were, say, at an ashram for some reason, or working with government officials, this new moon in the 6th house says, wow, this is a whole new start now to my health. So this is an opportunity for you to institute new systems with regards to you nurturing yourself, you having compassion for yourself, and you putting in support systems that are really a benefit to you. And now, the other thing is, for some folks, some Aquarians, maybe starting a new job, literally, like the 6th house is your day-to-day job. And for those that don't work, this could just be a new opportunity to maybe work with those types of energy, nurturing, compassionate energies. Maybe even families, working with families, volunteering to work with families for some reason, if you do not work. The 6th house is also small animals, so there may be an opportunity for some Aquarians to find health benefits with regards to having a small animal, like maybe a cat or a dog. Now, the Venus retrograde happens in your opposite sign of Leo, and so that's your 7th house. So this could bring literally a marriage partner into view over this whole time period, not only of Venus being retrograde, but Venus in Leo period. So that whole time period starts in June and goes all the way through the first week of October 2023. And so that's very much a focus here, I feel. Now, for others, it could be business partnerships, but the real emphasis is going to be on more serious partnerships at this time. For those that are in a serious relationship, it could have you looking at that partnership over the Venus retrograde period. Maybe it has you working as a couple to beautify it, to make it much better, to inject love into it, and, real caring. For others, it could be that your clientele increases, especially if you're dealing with females. So the 7th house can represent clients too. And so this could just have you having to have a little more of a challenge with regards to those clients. There may be more involved, say, than you realized at this time. And the Venus retrograde has you rethinking, how am I going to deal with those clients? Especially if they're females, because females are sort of highlighted here. But overall, I see this as you looking at the marriage partner, whether you're married right now or you want to get married. And this could have that person come literally into view. With the opposition, it's you looking at it, right? Now, you, Aquarius, are going to have your full moon in August at 9 degrees of Aquarius. So I'll talk more about that next month, but I just thought I'd give you the heads up that there's some kind of conclusion or concluding, culminating energy coming in for you personally in August with that full moon in your sign. Take care of yourself, Aquarius. All right, folks, well, that wraps up my July video. If you would like your chart done, I would love to do it. Astrology means a lot to me, and I absolutely love doing it, interacting with all my clients. I love them all. Sending everybody lots of love, and especially during this month of July with the Venus retrograde. You're going to have a chance, I think all of us are going to get a chance to either continue with our love story or start seeing a love story that could begin, but making sure that it's true love and it's not all just show. Others, it's going to bring in some money potentially through creative projects. All right, take care, everybody. We will talk to you next month. Bye for now.